Hello everyone, welcome to a video that's going to be a little bit different from Microcasting St. Louis. Today I am making my Christmas special. So this one's going to be a little bit different. There is no structured presentation or anything like that. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own weather forecast right at home. First of all, I wanted to show you how you can get your forecast graphics. I feel like this is something that's important for people because, well, if you want to make your own weather forecast, you need the graphics. So there's a great website. It's called metgraphics.net. You can go right here and it has all the designs and stuff you would really ever need for weather forecasting. They have severe weather threat analysis, they have forecast templates. I've used MetGraphics for a while now. You can go ahead and check them out. So let's get started with the forecasting itself. When I forecast pollen, I'm going to make a confession here. I just go to pollen.com and I see what the pollen is, or at least that's going to be my new forecasting method in 2019. Trust me, it will be openly disclosed. But yeah, you just take a look at the pollen forecasting method. They're really good at what they do. I don't see much of a reason to use my time on that. And on the UV index, again, I just go straight to EPA, and they have the UV index stuff that I need to look at. So that's always fun. Although, in the event that we do get a government shutdown, which right now is looking like it's plausible, the EPA website won't be working quite right. So, let's get into the actual stuff that matters. Here's the weather forecasting. How are you going to make it? Well, you have to start by looking at current conditions. So there's a great website, and this is just going to be the one that I use today. I don't want to introduce too much, but I'm just going to go to weather.cod.edu. You can see it on the screen. It's the College of DuPage's website, located around Chicago, Illinois. They have all the stuff you need to make a weather forecast. They have your radar and satellite, they have analysis data, and weather models, and they have a few other things in case you would like to use them. So let's start with analysis data. So this is going to be the data that we're going to use to calculate our current conditions and what the current forecast is going to be like. So you don't need to know too much about weather to take a look at this, but let's just take a look at this. And we're forecasting for the St. Louis area. That's right around here. So if I loop this, and I do allow Adobe Flash to run preferably, we can pretty much see this low pressure system right here, and you can see this kind of a trough, if you will, this horseshoe looking thing around it. So this is for rotation or vorticity, and that horseshoe basically means that there's a surge of cold air that came down and it's moving out, and typically on the front end of this, that's where you're going to get your rain. So we probably have rain and stuff like that in the front of there. That's what caused our rain yesterday. So at least as of the time of recording this, this is December 21st. So, as of right now, yesterday there was rain, and the reason why was because of the front band right here. And we do have the low pressure system pretty well established. So we can establish that. We can also establish this kind of frontal boundary right here. This would be where the cold front would be, and you can see that just because of the sharp contrast from the moisture in the clouds. And then you can also see up here this low pressure system. It looks like it's going to be moving in due to the just general rotating motion that you see there. So we're done with analysis tools. We can tell there's probably a system that's going to be moving in throughout the week this week, and we might even see something on Christmas. So now let's take a look at the weather models. These are important. So if we want to take a look at the most current conditions, first of all, we have to select our model run. So for this, if it's orange, I don't suggest using it. That means it's incomplete. Select the latest green one, and then you'll probably want to select your sector view, in this case, Midwest for May. So you can see here, this is just the rain parameter, and just looking around in general St. Louis area, this is what we're looking at. So we're not seeing much rain, but we are seeing little blips there. I would really ignore those and only give about a 10% chance of rain. I mean, those blips do show that there's a slight possibility, but I really wouldn't put them into too much consideration. We can then take a look at the NAM nest. The NAM nest is what I prefer to look at next, and it also can take a look at precipitation, temperature, stuff like that. But here I'm going to dive in just a little bit more in depth, just for the purposes of doing so. So first of all, with the NAM, you can see around 45 hours out or so, that would be 15 Zulu Sunday, which is going to be around 9 o'clock on Sunday for us on the 23rd. You can see a wave of snow that kind of moves through here on the NAM. So we can give a solid 50 to 60% chance of snow, just if we look at the NAM. So we can see that. But I don't see much significance in the accumulation. So what if I take a look at maybe total snow accumulation? That'll give us a good idea, because that's our first snow event. If you're looking at snow events later, you might want to just pick 24-hour snow accumulation, and you want to take a look at your 10 to 1 and what's called Kishura down here. And the reason why is because 10 to 1 is just going to be your 1 inch of rain is 10 inches of snow, and your Kishura is going to use a giant mathematical formula to calculate snow accumulations. These are just other things you can do, but the overall thing is that there are lots of parameters that you can look at here. And if you are curious about any of them, you just click the question mark. It tells you all about it. So if I explain something that maybe isn't quite well understood, you can certainly just go here and you can click on the question mark for any of these. But what I'm basically saying is that you can look at a variety of weather models to come up with a weather forecast. So let's take a look at the big model. I call it the big gun. This is the GFS. GFS is what you'll probably want to primarily base your forecast on for now. GFS FV3 is currently in development. I wouldn't rely on it too much right now, but I would seriously start considering it in the future. But for now, let's take a look at the GFS. We'll start with temperature here just for the sake of temperature. So if I take a look at the GFS, I'd see about tonight a low of 31. That's what the GFS expects. And then I also see temperatures around here 29, 28, 27, and we see down here around the 32 mark, and we see some 30s. So yeah, I'd say around 31 sounds about right. There isn't much of a temperature difference. So yeah, I'd forecast 31. But if we take a look here, there's kind of a sharp difference here from 50 to 45, so I'd consider, and you only have a 47 south, so maybe I'd say, okay, maybe a 48. A high of 48 sounds a little bit more reasonable than a high of 50 due to what we've seen here with the model, the difference in temperature north and south of it, east and west, 50 being the peak, with the exception of the southwestern portion. So that's just some kind of stuff there, and then we can look through the temperature for the remainder of the time, and we can even see that peak of 57 degrees. That's on the 27th of December, around the 3-4 o'clock time frame. So that's what we're looking at there, and then we see the surge of cold air moving in. So that's something to definitely consider. When you get this far out, this can wobble north, this can wobble south, and that can cause significant changes for the forecast in St. Louis in this case. So if we take a look back at the GFS model, we see, first of all, this wall of rain moving in on the 27th. That's fairly high confidence. Again, remember what we said in current conditions. This definitely helps, because we said, oh, a system could move in later in the week, this week. So we see that Thursday, December 27th, we have significant rain moving in, and not overly surprising. So we can say, okay, there's relatively high confidence there. This is just going off of one model. On other websites, there's more than one model you can go off of. And even on this website, there's more than one. You can take a look at the GEM, G-E-M here, and look at what it has to say. I mean, there's a lot that you can look at to make your weather forecast. And you can make it fairly accurately even if you don't know that much about weather and you just go strictly with the precipitation aspect of things, the temperature and precipitation aspect. You can make a fairly accurate forecast. That's all I really wanted to talk about. Maybe next year or at some point, if you folks would like, I can make a video going into a bit more detail on this, and I can also detail how to make a severe weather forecast. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. This is Microcasting St. Louis, signing out.